I've checked the top 50s of every region, I've got the top 10 myself in EU, and I'm going to tell you exactly what heroes are the best for FFA and why. Ana. She has decent dueling and range, but little mobility and burst makes her unable to get to fights and secure kills. Her sleeps and antis will just be used by third parties, and it's pretty easy for others to kill steal her. I would say she is low C. Ashe. She's got good range and burst with her scope, but is vulnerable in duels and is too slow to get to many fights. You'll be able to do fine with her, but it'll be hard. She gets a middle B tier. Bap. Actually a surprisingly good pick. With his burst heal and lamp he effectively has 3 or so health bars, making him incredibly good at dueling. He's actually the 6th most seen pick in the top 50 of each region, totaling at 7 picks. This lands him at a solid mid A. Bastion. His giant hitbox and lack of movement makes it incredibly hard to get any kills. If he pops sentry form, the mobile heroes will simply walk away or dash around him for a free kill, and due to his hitbox everyone will focus him. He is absolutely one of the worst heroes to play, landing him in D. Brig. She has decent burst damage in dueling, that is, if you get close range. But enemies will simply kite you, and you'll probably need to use shield bash to get them. Meaning you won't have much burst and someone else will likely steal your kills. It'll also take too long to get so close to fights. That's why she's a D. Cassidy. Cassidy is one hell of a hero, he's got good range, good burst and amazing dueling. His only issues really are that he's a bit too easy to dive and too slow to easily get to fights. He's absolutely amazing and holds the 4th spot for most picked DPS in top 50s at 19 mains. This means he's low S tier but far above A. Doomfist. He's also a hell of a hero in that he's really bad here. Free for all not being roll Q means that he's walking around at 300 HP with a tank sized hitbox. He does have good mobility, but absolutely no range, not great dueling versus all the best picks, and no real burst, which means it's easy to kill steal from him. This lands him high C. D.va. There's actually 3 D.va mains in the top 50, surprisingly. I haven't fought her much, but I can see that her mobility and burst means she can 100 to 0 a squishy relatively easy, while being able to win duels due to the lot of health and the 2 health bars. I think she's higher up at B. Echo. Contender for absolute best hero. There are a total of 27 Echo mains in the top 50s of all 3 servers, which is first place. She has very high mobility, has very high burst, can duel anyone except Tracer, has decent range and can kill secure and kill steal quite easily with her beam. She's also the hero I played myself to get rank 6 and I absolutely recommend her. Fun fact, over half the Echo mains are all from EU. But that's why I'm putting her on the very top of S. Genji. There are funnily enough as many Genjis as Baptistes in the top 50s, both at 7. Genji has little range, but high mobility, good dueling, and his swift strike makes it incredibly easy to not just secure kills, but get multiple people in one fight. However, he still loses a fair bit of duels against the S tier heroes, making him end at the top of A. Hanzo. Very flexible, relatively mobile, good burst, and dueling means he's never gonna be bad. There's 2 Hanzo mains in the top 50s, and I think he's solidly at the top of B. Junkerqueen. The 2nd best tank in free-for-all. She's got incredible dueling with the lifesteal and shout, most of her damage is pretty easy to hit and she will stat check most other squishies. Her lifesteal also allows her to get multiple kills in one skirmish. The only reason she isn't S tier would be that she has no range or mobility. Top of A. Junkrat. He's got really good burst and decent mobility to get to fights, but his big hitbox and being reliant on closed areas means he either holds up and doesn't get many kills, or gets farmed by the higher tier heroes. I think he's high B. Kiriko. Surprisingly good for support. Double headshot is a big threat and combined with her Suzu, wall climb and small hitbox it makes her really hard to duel. However, she's slow and inconsistent in securing kills, resulting in a mid C. Lifeweaver. Surprisingly good. Just kidding. He's probably the worst hero in free-for-all, even more so than Mercy. Sure, he's got the dash and the paddle, but his giant hitbox and shooting game makes him the freest, most farmable target in the game. He goes to D. Lucio. Lucio actually has amazing mobility and good dueling, but his lack of burst means it's incredibly easy for others to kill steal him. I feel like even though he has so much going for him, this makes it so incredibly hard to farm kills, so he goes to D. Mei. With her similarity to tanks, she can usually stat check most squishies with her beam and ice block, making most duels pretty easy. And just like those tanks, she does struggle to get to places. She does have the range though, because her icicles do allow her to get some snipes in, so I think she belongs in high B. Mercy. Right next to lifeweaver, comfy spot. She has no abilities in free-for-all and can only fight with her gun. If you get anywhere near top 500 with Mercy only, I respect the fuck out of you. Moira. Unsurprisingly, the second best support, only stopped by her burst. Her lifesteal, heal orb, fade and ult means you're never gonna die, which means that even with little bursts you'll still be able to get a lot of kills. Fade also allows her to chase others and get the fights, and I'd say this lands her solidly in the middle of B. Orisa. Just like the other tanks, she is the definition of mid. She can stat check most squishies, but struggles to finish off kills and lacks the mobility range to actually get to the fights. Low B. Pharah. Good burst, good mobility, and especially if she can get the jump on someone, good dueling. Her only struggle is surviving longer in fights and having such a huge hitbox. We have a grand total of 4 Pharah mains in the top 50s, showing that she can definitely be played there. Top of B tier, but might deserve A. Ramattra. One of the better tank options, with easy to hit, really good damage, while being tanky enough to 1v1 most squishies. Same as other tanks, he struggles with both range and mobility and might just get focused down to it due to his big hitbox. This is why he's middle of B. Reaper. Surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, amazing. Reaper actually dominates the ladders with a total of 22 Reaper mains in the top 50s. Fun fact, most of them are an A. His shotguns, being so much damage with so much spread, means it's really easy to win duels and secure kills with burst. His lifesteal and wraith form allows him to survive for long skirmishes, which means he can pick up even more kills. You just need to make sure to play to his strength and mainly stay in more closed areas. His teleport isn't good mid-fight, but allows him to get the fights quickly. This all brings him to a solid 3rd place in S. Reinhardt. By far the worst tank for this game mode. His overall lack of mobility and range means it's very hard to get anyone at all, and his big hitbox combined with the lower tank HP of non-roll Q means he gets shredded by the entire lobby. He is all the way down in low C. Roadhog. The man, the myth, Roadhog. Absolutely dominates the top 50s with a whole 25 Roadhog mains in the top 50s. A fun factor here is that 2/3 of the Hog mains are all in Asia. Anyway, it's really hard to duel, and his hook combo is still reliable enough to constantly secure kills on anyone in his vicinity. Its lack of mobility honestly doesn't even matter at that point. This lands him at a solid 2nd place in S. Sigma. Absolute Sigma mill, but kinda hard to secure kills. You can still 1v1 squishies and do have more range and can secure kills on slightly wanted people with his rock combo, but the lack of burst and mobility does weigh him down a lot, giving him a place in low B. Sojourn. Her dueling is fine, but she has longer cooldowns and has to charge up her gun first every time, which is hard when there's only small hitbox heroes. That's why I think she's mid B. Soldier. Good dueling, good burst, good mobility, good range. Overall really nice pick. With 6 spots in the top 50s, he's fairly popular and good, so I think he's definitely an A. Sombra. Kind of like a budget tracer here. She can easily find and assassinate vulnerable targets, but her dueling and skirmishing can be kind of lacking. With her downtime it might be hard to get a lot of kills, but I don't think she's that bad and put her in the middle of B. Symmetra. Can hold a room, but others can just ignore her. I don't think she's that good and give her a mid-C. Torbjorn. Same as Symmetra, but more flexible due to his range and due to overload giving him decent dueling. I think he can perform decently in B. Tracer. Our final S tier hero. With a whopping 19 mains in the top 50s, she's clearly really good at free-for-all. Amazing dueling, amazing mobility, decent range and decent burst. I'd like to put her higher, but the others are just easier to get the same or more value here, and they're better at multiples and noob stomping, while Tracer is more fully spec'd in just dueling. She gets 4th place in S tier. Widowmaker. With all the people jumping around, you're gonna need to be cracked to make her work. With the one shot and range, she is never going to be bad, but since all of the higher tier heroes have like a lot of mobility ways to get to her, and she can't position as far away, she gets middle of B. Winston. One of the better tanks, because besides being able to stat check squishies, he can get on top of them and even has his right click to finish them off. Solid middle of B. Wrecking Ball. Same as Winston, but his damage is a bit less reliable to get off. He does have the bonus of being harder to kill, but it's harder to get kills too, landing him a bit below Winston in B. Zarya. One guy did actually manage to main her into the top 50s, However, I still think she struggles, since not only is she slow like the other tanks, every time she respawns she needs to recharge all her energy before she can deal damage. That's why I think she's low B. Zenyatta, our final hero. He's got good burst, but his big hitbox and low mobility really does make it hard to live in a free-for-all world. I put him in C. Alright, this is the full list. Take a screenshot or argue with me in the comments down below on why I'm an idiot and Xer is actually way worse or better. Have a good one.